Hello my friends, it is I, the camera account man, standing beneath the rainbow at night time. That's right, it's a nocturnal rainbow, because at the very end of this episode there's going to be an announcement of a competition that you can participate in if you have Minecraft 1.13 Java Edition. So be sure to stick around to the end of the episode to catch that announcement, and now let's jump into it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft Season 6. I'm having a wonderful time again on the server, just heading over to the ice farm area. I've hooked myself up with a portal to make travelling over here a little bit more convenient. I've been relying on flying through the sky with rockets, which is always, of course, a lot of fun. And we are over here to check out what I've been up to, which is removing water in the area. As you can see, there's quite a lot of squid in this place right here, right? Well, I happen to be the only one online at this point in time, which means that I have my area for most of the spawning, and we got squid here. And because it's related to the player's position, right, there's going to be nothing going on in the spawn chunks. It just kind of occurred to me that there is lots of water over there because it's in an ocean. So this is the location of our ice farms, but we're going to be building a squid farm over here as well. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I'm subscribed to False, I'm subscribed to Wells. I've seen them build squid farms. Well, we're going to build a different type of squid farm that relies on the player being in the area and using the sword, AFK, the looting sword, to kill the squids and get looting from them. So hopefully more ink in total. And there is some lying down there on the ground. And I really need lots of ink, so I need to go collect that. But we're seeing a lot of them here because I've been removing it from elsewhere in the area. Let's go into this view mode, fly directly up, and then change our view. And can you see how the river above my head there has had some of the water removed from it? And then we get the fog in the sky, unfortunately, when we go too high. So we need to clear out the rivers. Now you'll see that there are lots of pockets of frozen water here and there. Also over here as well. Squid are no longer going to spawn in those spaces in 1.13. It is now biome dependent, and the biomes they can spawn in are rivers, like just here where we've seen them spawning, and the ocean, and there is no ocean nearby. So when it comes to clearing out all of the rivers, it's not too difficult of a task. I did this during a live stream, just went through here using my ice and sponges to clear out all of this water, and this is now space where the squid can't spawn. Yes, there was a creeper explosion in here. And of course that means the water that is in the area is where they are more likely to spawn. And that area is of course right here. However, you'll see this dirt formation. This over here, although it appears to be a river, and at times it can be frozen, the biome is actually taiga, so the squid swim into this area, like you saw there, but they won't actually spawn there. So one of the things that we need to do is figure out where the river itself is. For example, over there I've dug away some of the space because that's actually where the river goes. And it seems in the river biome that snow doesn't settle, so sometimes having grass like this gives away where the river actually is. So we're going to use this section around here, and then I'll probably start clearing up the river over on this side. And it's a bit of fun, there's a bit of strategy to clearing this out using the sponges. This is probably going to be a nice and easy spot. I'm going to put one there and then here, and we have successfully divided the river. Might get away with putting one in the middle. Almost. You've got to be careful how you place these because the water will start to instantly try and reform. So the faster you can place them, the quicker you can stop it doing that. But you see how the river spreads out to the side here. It means it's going to start reforming from this space. If I move across like so, yeah, there we go. That was some pretty good placement going on right there. But when you got these big spaces, it gets kind of tricky. And one of the resources that I was accumulating as I was doing this was ice itself. Of course, we've got an ice farm behind us, and there's loads of ice in the frozen rivers. And you can kind of create some dividers to help you get rid of the water a little bit quicker. Let's see. Okay, so we've created a wall up to this point. So then I kind of want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was that any good? Ah, you see it reformed back over a little bit. It's some tricky business, but that's what I'm going to do now for the beginning of this episode. Just going to work on this river some more and see how much of it I can clear. So while we're doing this, I'm popping back to get some squid. Speaking of which, got myself a squid face now. And I'm also collecting some other materials like clay, which is a nice little bonus. But I am running into a bit of a problem, which is there's lots of these salmon spawning in the rivers. And when I start to try and place the sponges, sometimes they're all getting in the way. You know, when I'm trying to place the block, because they're an entity and they've got a hitbox and all of that stuff. And I'm just going to go for the spamming method right here. This seems to be working. There we go. That's that section done. And now they're all flapping around doing belly dances. Oh. So we have the squiddies now, quite a few of them, and also salmon by the looks of it. Of course, those spawn in rivers. But my work in this area should be done, I hope. And I found that if I turn the render distance of the game's settings up, when we fly higher up, that fog doesn't kick in as quick, and so we can see a lot from up here. So, all of this river has been done, all where I'm pointing off into the distance. There is this area over here that has been cleared, the other end of the river, and I found two other locations which might be affected. There was another river just over here. I actually think it was out of the render distance, so I did the bit that was closest to where we are. And then there was this big lake that's a little bit closer, as you can see. We're going to stand somewhere around there, and so this would have all been loaded. So it's probably a good idea to clear this out. However, it took me like half an hour to do so. It was quite the big patch, as you can see below me. So, yeah, everything's clear. However, we're not going to be building the Squid Farm in this episode. I just wanted to come over here and do the preparation, as we have other things to take care of today. And now that I've flown around the area a little bit and come back, just count the squid. Again, this is how the whole thing works, and this is a sign that we've done everything properly. My friends, it is rainy and miserable over here in the swamp, and I don't think anyone else has actually come over here yet and started any of the spooky Halloween building stuff. One of the things I was supposed to do, which I forgot to, was bring over some lily pads. I wanted to make a little lily pad pathway over here so you didn't have to swim. And as you already know, each and every episode we're going to add something to the loot for the Phantom Hunting Season prize. And yes, last episode I forgot to do that. I got very caught up in the project we were doing, and I didn't have the time to get over here. So we're going to add two things in this episode. One of those is going to be a coupon for 1 stack of each wool from the new shop that I've set up. Not sure what the name of that shop is just yet. And the other thing is a conduit kit. The conduits have been very popular. I think we've sold another one of these. So let's head over to the shopping district where we can continue work on our wool shop, and we'll also check to see how many diamonds we've got. Here we are in the glorious shopping area of Hermitcraft, and you've seen me go through the chests of my shops time and time again. So this one over here, no sales, and then down in the turtle shop we got ourselves 2 conduits and conduit kits. Also, this was from Bones, and this one was from the turtle helmets. Those are still selling. Can you believe it? 581 diamonds is our total sales at the moment. I love seeing that number tick up. It is a lot of fun, but the next thing that we need to do is work on our shop again. We are going to do something fantastic and wonderful in just a moment. But first of all, the first thing to be taken care of is the snow that is on top of it. It makes the rainbow look a little bit silly, you know. So you know what I'm going to do, right? We're going to make some carpets to cover the top because the colours match. And those carpets will stop anything from spawning up there as well as the snow landing on it. It's a job done, but I also had a little bit of a half derp moment. You see, I filled up my inventory with all of the colours of the wool from the rainbow, including the light blue, blue and purple, and of course, they're on the underside. They don't have any carpets. Oh, I found that kind of amusing. Anyway, heading down here, you'll see that I put the shulker boxes on the outside of the shop, and that's because we need to work on the inside, and we had no sales, which is actually a good thing, because I want the hermits to experience this shop in its full glory. And what exactly is its full glory? Well, I'm going to need, let's see, some ice. I'm probably going to need some buckets as well. Can you figure out what is going on here? There is one other ingredient. Yes, a conduit. I believe I have a conduit somewhere in here. This is probably my last one. I put it in my tools chest, didn't I? I've got so many of these boxes, it's hard to keep organised. Excellent. Yes, we're going to hide that somewhere because we are going to waterlog the entire shop, meaning it's one that you swim through. And guess what? You're going to swim all the way to the top of the rainbow. Oh, I love this idea so much. Let's break these first few ice blocks together. You know, I really don't need more than that amount of ice, do I? Because now I can just start scooping it up and placing it back down again. So far, so good. Pretty straightforward. I imagine soon things are going to get tricky. Did I miss one over here? It doesn't seem to like this bit. That's slightly concerning. Yeah, this is going to be relatively easy. However, at the moment, it's kind of easy because I can stand on the side. When I'm not able to do that and I start to get submerged, then things are going to get tricky. And I think it would be a good idea to install the conduit straight away, because then, of course, we're going to be submerged in the water. And I don't want to deal with all of this drowning and these bubbles of water. So what I'll probably do is calculate where roughly the very middle of this area is and go and build it inside the stone above the rainbow itself. With just a teeny tiny bit of math and calculation, well, not even math or calculation actually, to be fair, just using the coordinates, it was quite simple to figure out where exactly the very center of the rainbow wheel is, and it's actually this block right here where the conduit is itself. So that's perfectly aligned in the middle, even though it probably really doesn't need to. But anyway, let's exit down here and continue with the job. This is going to be the most amazing shop on the server, because this is a fantastical, magical view. This is going to be so much fun. Although it kind of gets spoiled when you come up round this way. I guess you'll probably see a little bit of that down here. No? None of that down here. But on this side there is. That's really disappointing. Why would it do that here? Oh, apparently I'm shooting. I thought I had my bucket. That kind of sucks. Well, anyway, it's still amazing. It's still wonderful. And I've gotten as far as this at this point in time. And I didn't want to continue because I haven't done anything on the other side. And apparently there is a hole here as well, so that needs repairing. But something that helped me when doing this was to switch from the bucket to using ice, and I'm going to do that through this vertical section. What I do is I switch to making big pillars of ice that can spread the water to all the different corners and cracks and all of that stuff. So I'll be doing the same thing again over on this side. Oh, bam, that's it. That's the very last one to do, right? I won't miss doing this. Jeez. That was quite the task. Bobbing up and down in the water is kind of irritating, but it's done now. I'm still really annoyed by this bug right here. That's just so unfortunate that it does that. And I believe it does it after a certain height, because over there it starts, yet down here we seem to be fine. So down here at the bottom we got to work on the entrance and quickly have things turned into a mess, as I've been trying out some ideas here, and I think I've got a really good vision for what we're going to do. So for the entrance we're going to have the soul sand and the magma block, so you can walk up on in here, and then you'll find yourself inside of this area, and then the conduit kicks in. And yeah, the players will have to swim to the top, and up there is where we're going to put all of the shulker boxes and the signs with the prices and all that kind of stuff. Then the magma block to exit, and I think what we'll have in front of us is a long corridor. And on here we're going to put all the different things you can make with the wall blocks, like all the different colours of beds and banners and the wall blocks themselves, carpets, stuff like that. And then we'll have another elevator system to get up and down at the end of that corridor. So I was thinking about the roof, and I really liked the way that the bottom blocks here were visible, and I thought, why don't we try and extend that around? So I've sort of come up with this design to bring it to the centre, and it will go back down on the other side as well. And here is that design, looking pretty grand. The scale of this room, the lighting, everything feels great. It's now fit for decoration, which we will do, of course. We're going to be mirroring the entrance and exit system over on this side over here, and that will just take us up straight back to the surface. And then I put these markers down. There's going to be 8 of these in total, because we're going to have, 8 beds on one side, 8 on the other. It'll all make sense in just a second. So you can see things are really coming together in here, right? Such a nice room. And yes, that is clay on the ground. I tried things like stone bricks and wood, and it just didn't feel like it fit into this room. But now we've got something that works, and I'm just throwing these up on the wall. And I was leaving space here to put in a painting as well, since you can make paintings with wool, right? Thought I would remind the hermits that that's possible, but then I think it's just going to add a bit of noise behind each of the beds in this room. So I don't think I will try that. In fact, what I think I will do is push all of this back by 1 block, because underneath these carpets we've got lighting, and underneath those we've got lighting as well. So I can quite easily push that back a little bit, and then we could have a clay border going down here. So this is the entrance, and yes, it's pretty awful right now. I'm going to have to put in some sort of placeholder sign saying this is the entrance, and then we'll build something again in the future. I kind of want to move on to something else now. Put a lot of time into this room down below, and it's turned out fantastic. Look at that. Love the vibe in here, and I love the spread of colours on either side as well. Looking really good. And what I want to do is actually just come in here and pick out the carpets that are left over, and also the odd amount of blocks, as the shulker boxes are going to go up top. And here they are, so they're too tall, they kind of fill up this space, and obviously some of these have got more than others because we've used it for the construction of this crazy rainbow wheel. And I gotta say, this is so cool to swim through. I really wish these little bugs were fixed. They also affect the shulkers as well, right? The colours aren't quite as vivid because of the way that the water flows down the side, but it is what it is. I don't know if Mojang are going to fix this stuff or not. You know, they'll probably fix it in 3 years. Knowing them, that would be pretty typical. And again, the view in this room, it's just superb. It's got a very nice vibe to it. So I'm going to add an extra chest to my ender chest, which is for walls. As you can see though, we've kind of filled up all the walls here, and we're left with some carpets. I'm just going to chuck them away, you know. Don't need to make 2 lots of shulker boxes. Anyway, the entire time that I was coming back up here, I could hear spiders and zombies, and I was trying to figure out why, and then it occurred to me that there is a river down below here actually. We were kind of lucky to miss this, and looks like it hasn't been lit up, and possibly a creeper explosion, and yep, there's even a creeper in there right now. So that explains the noises, but that over there is Doc's sensory deprivation tank, and this is really cool. I want to go check this out. So if I drop in here, this is where we are now, and I've got an arrow to it. Wow. Oh, we are in a strange place right now, aren't we, my friends? I think that's cool. How do I get out of here? Wait a minute, Doc. How am I supposed to escape this thing? Was I supposed to bring an ender pearl? Maybe I can get out of here with a rocket. Uh-oh, I'm trapped. I'm trapped. Oh, jeez, I thought I was never going to get out of there. Oh, that's a fair bit of fun. Look at this, my friends. Scar is just the builder extraordinaire. There is now a roller coaster going through all of his biomes, going underneath the mountain there. Fantastic. Fantastic. I love this project. It's pretty much the best thing on this season so far, right? Anyway, if we keep flying in this direction, we're going to see our skyscraper, inspired by the man himself. And there it is. If we pay attention to the top of the building, you might just notice that it's got the lip that appears on the side, but it only goes up by 1. And that's deliberate, because that's where the cactus farms run out. And then on top of here, we're going to build like another mini layer that sort of gives it a cap on top of the skyscraper. As you can see though, only 2 sides of it have been built so far. I've got to grab some materials and finish up the other side as well, but you know, viewing it from how we approached, you pretty much get a feel for what the final thing is going to look like. Well, my friends, that was really something. Chewing through resources, focusing on building and getting this thing done. I now have a new appreciation for Scar's Skyscraper City from last season. That must have taken an enormous amount of time, and obviously it's not done. We've still got to the top to do. And as you know how I like to do it, I always like to bite off more than I can chew, and then I realise that I don't have the time to finish the things that I started. But in all fairness, like, look at that, you know, we've built our first skyscraper almost, and it's looking fantastic. There are more to come in this area, but I have an announcement to make before we go and wrap this video up. So, a while back we built this farm in front of us, which has finished filling up, although you'll notice it isn't full all the way to the top, and it was never intended to be detected in that way. Did I fall like deep inside of this thing? No, I can make my way out nice and easy, that's good. So when I built this, I never had any intention to decorate it, but that's something that I always like to do on this server, right? It's part of the industrial area, and it needs decorating, and then I didn't have much of an idea, because I didn't think about it in the beginning, so I thought, why don't we turn this into a little bit of a competition? So if you've been around the community for some time, you probably would have seen these events happen and have a good idea of what to do. You need to log on to play.xisumavoid.com, which is our public plot world. You'll need Minecraft 1.12.2 to log in, and then you can type in /icefarm and it will take you to a different plot world. When you're in this other plot world, you can claim a plot and start building a design. Now I'm going to do /p space auto. Bam, and it is automatically going to give me a plot that already has this pre-built schematic, so you can understand how much space you have to build on, because of course it goes on here, and then how big the ice farm is, because I've mocked this up and it's pretty much in the exact same position as it would have been on Hermitcraft. Also, shout out to Manuel as well, who we were standing underneath a second ago, for putting all of this together. Looks like there is a little starter area with some instructions, yeah, /plot auto. So you will get your own plot. You'll be able to invite other players to build on it as well. And then eventually what I will do is end the competition probably in about 4 to 5 days, and then I will come on here and I will look around at all of the different plots. Now what I won't do is check every single plot, because I've done that in the past and it can take like 3 to 4 hours to go through all the submissions. What I am going to do is fly over every single plot and check out the ones that catch my eye. So if you want to have your own creation built on Hermitcraft, I thought this would be a really cool way to do that. So yes, play.xisumavoid.com /icefarm, and you can come onto this world, claim your own plot and do some building. Yeah, I guess that's going to be the end of this episode then, right? If you've enjoyed it, then leave a like, and I look forward to seeing your submissions. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.